Oh my God.
We just had catastrophic failure.
From coming across an unbelievable barrier while drilling into one of the strangest spots away on the planet as they search for the truth, to noticing the strange forces in the skies in any of the most interesting parts of this land. Here is how Brandon Fugal, Travis Taylor and his team confirmed some of the strangest rumors that came out of Skinwalker Ranch. It looks like the mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch may never come to an end. Long before observers in this century noticed the strange and mysterious events that seem to take place at Skinwalker Ranch, the native inhabitants also saw the unusual things that took place in this area that we know as Skinwalker Ranch today. If Sumionia isn't talking about the presence of the evil supernatural force that seems to run riot through all the unfortunate cattle that just want to graze in the area, it is the occupants and the visitors of this 512-acre of land located at the Uintah Basin, Utah, that comment on the strange UFOs that they had witnessed in the skies in the area. Let's also not forget about the unfathomable forces that people have experienced in the area as well. Too much seems to be going on at Skinwalker Ranch. That is why the likes of Travis S. Taylor, the renowned scientist and well-known science fiction author, took it upon himself to head over to the notorious ranch with some of the best minds that we have on the planet today. With such people coming along with him, as well as the state-of-the-art machines and equipment that they would make use of during their investigations, it feels like it would only be a matter of time before this crew gets to the bottom of the secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. Brief history of the ranch. Just look at the time where Travis and his crew made some strange findings while carrying on with their investigation of the ranch. This reminds us of the unbelievable history of this ranch. As we alluded to a few minutes ago, many have taken notice of the strange incidents that seem to take place on this mysterious ranch. For centuries even, the local natives who called it home for many millennia would tell you of the strange things that take place here. Recently, these locals have come out with numerous accounts of sighting UFOs in the area. There were just too many to ignore. They also couldn't ignore the cattle mutilations that occurred in the area. There were still questions that have been left unanswered when it comes to such strange phenomena. Things seem to be so odd in the area that even till this day, there is a belief that the land had been cursed by one god or the other. Wild stuff, right? Ever since the rumors of this curse started being spread by the indigenous people of the area, there hasn't been a person who has lived there who doesn't have any harrowing tale or the other. Just look at Terry Sherman, the man who was the owner of Skinwalker Ranch back in the 90s. It may look like he could only stomach the strange events that took place there for only so long, because after only 18 months, he decided to sell the property, but the truth is far from that. The next man to get his hands on the property was a UFO enthusiast named Robert Bigelow, perhaps helping to witness some of the strange events that are rumored to occur on this ranch for himself. He decided to carry out some of his own investigations. Ironically, he would find no significant evidence of UFO sightings or activities on the ranch. It's crazy, right? The one man would have loved to find proof for himself seemed to come up short, where many others didn't even need to try to have an experience with the strange and unusual over at Skinwalker Ranch. It's actually funny in a way because some people proposed that maybe he didn't have the right equipment to observe any of the strange phenomena at the ranch. Then again, how many other people needed equipment to run into some of the strange things that they found on the ranch? Whatever the case may be, we know that after carrying out his investigations, he must have gotten bored with the place, so he sold the ranch to a real estate mogul known as Brandon Fugal in 2016. Ever the businessman, Fugal decided to give the History Channel access to the land so that they could maybe find the people with the right equipment to carry out other investigations on the ranch. This when Travis S. Taylor and his truth-finding crew came into the picture, and as such, The secrets of Skinwalker Ranch was born. One of the things that Travis knew that he had to do was to study the ranch in its entirety. Once he did that, he was to carry on with the investigation by following the strange leads and reports that would have been produced thanks to his study of the ranch. Thanks to the access to modern technology that they have, Travis and his team should be able to get as much information about this ranch as possible. If they can use their access to this technology properly, they may be able to get a lot of scientific explanations for what may be taking place on this mysterious ranch. Maybe they could finally get to the bottom of the many mysteries that seem to come from this strange place. Who knows? They could finally get proof that there are aliens that have been visiting this spot in the middle of nowhere for eons. If not, maybe they could prove that it is the supernatural forces that the indigenous people of yesteryear feared so much. Whatever the case may be, it is clear that with all the resources that Travis and his team have at their disposal, we know that people tuned into their show were desperate for answers. Strange disruptions in the radio waves. With their mission at hand, Travis and his team eventually made their way to their mysterious Skinwalker Ranch. Once they got there, the team immediately realized that there was something odd about the ranch. To be honest, the first sign that they received was too strong to ignore. This is due to the fact that once they got to the ranch, they all realized that there was something weird going on with all their electronic gadgets. That's a weird one. It must have been really annoying because their GPS technology started malfunctioning when they got there. How were they going to push on with their investigations now if they can't track their movements? As annoying as this was, the team would have had even more cause to feel frustrated because they soon noticed that once they got out of the region of the ranch, they realized that their GPS signal was working properly. What on earth was going on at Skinwalker Ranch? They even noticed that it seemed to stop exactly at the fence. Well, the boys came there to solve a mystery. They can't get too frustrated when they find one there. Although the team could admit this annoying issue with their GPS signal was somewhat fascinating, they could not deny the fact that it was dangerous when it came to aviation safety. This is frightening really because we're talking about an increase in experiencing terrible accidents such as plane crashes. We're sure that nobody wants anything like that, even if it may be as minor as a drone malfunctions. Unfortunately, not only would they have to deal with these drone malfunctions, they also had to contend with the fact that about $50,000 worth of expensive equipment was pretty much rendered useless at the end of the day because of this loss of GPS signal. As such, the team knew that before they could find out if there are aliens or evil spirits lurking in other dark corners of Skinwalker Ranch, they had to figure out what was going on with their signals. As they searched for these answers, they began to ponder if this corruption of their GPS signal was due to some irregularity within the magnetic fields in the area, or if there was someone who was messing with the frequency in the place on purpose. The latter would be diabolical to say the least, especially as these could possibly mean that such a person was trying to sabotage their research and experiments on Skinwalker Ranch. Whatever the case may be, the team seemed to think that such incidents were the proof that they needed to see that yes, something odd was taking place on this mysterious ranch. If anything, they managed to keep their morale up because to them, this just meant that they may need to invest in better technology. While some may think that this may be reducing their problems to that of a matter of equipment, there is no denying that if some machines were failing, it was clear that there was a reason. Let's also consider the fact that in the face of all these issues, Travis began to ponder if there was a threat lurking in the area, if the forces working against them could weaponize these GPS disruption that they were experiencing. Who knew what that could mean to him and his crew? Going further, he reiterated the fears that we expressed a few minutes ago in that this GPS disruption could be a massive threat to the aviators and the drone handlers out there, especially if these things rely on technology. Thinking of the gravity of the implication of such inability to manipulate the GPS signals, Travis has expressed that Thea is one of the things that scares him most when it comes to his investigation of Skinwalker Ranch. He can already visualize the air crashes that could be experienced thanks to this. As such, Travis and his team knew that they had to get these answers because at the end of the day, people's lives could actually depend on pseudo answers. As alarming as such a problem may be, the team would soon realize that Thea was just one of many strange phenomena that they would experience here on this mysterious ranch. An invisible force. As the team continued on with their research, Travis and his team were soon surprised by something that they did not see coming at all. As they carried on with thorough investigation of the ranch, perhaps in a bid to find out what was going on with their GPS signal, the team somehow realized that there was an invisible force field that had swallowed up the entire region. That is wild, to say the least. Well, after getting over their initial surprise, Travis, Thomas and Eric decided to work with a blunt from Straight Shot Oil Field Services so that they could learn more about this invisibly electromagnetic force field. After all, we can't spot a force field without wondering if it's trying to keep you in or trying to keep something out. As such, the group snooped around to see who or what may have put up this gigantic, invisible force field. Hoping to find out if the force field extended deeply into the ground, the team decided to dig as deeply as they could. Despite this being a great idea to execute, the team would soon find that things would not go exactly to plan. As they carried on with their drilling exercise, the team soon hit a roadblock when something stopped them from going as deeply as they would have liked. The roadblock was a bit of a shock to them because it sort of felt like an invisible wall to them. As if that wasn't strong enough, the team would soon learn that even stranger things occurred down there. You see, this drill that the team was making use of was a special drill because it had something that was similar to a beacon on it. Thanks to this beacon, they were able to receive signals of 33 MHz, and no matter how deep they went, at least that way, if anything occurred down there, the beacon would let the guys up there know what was going on thanks to their state-of-the-art equipment. Well, as the team tried to get deeper into the ground, they began to notice that the signals sent by the beacon were becoming quite irregular. What was going on down there? Looking at the signal, it was almost as though something down there was messing around with the drill. The crazier thing about this story is that this isn't even the weird part. Regardless of the irregular signals, the team kept on with their drilling exercise. However, as they continued, they noticed that the drill was actually facing some resistance. So much so that it began moving in weirder directions that was contrary to their instructions. It was almost as if something was actually playing with their drill down there. After noticing these strange events, the team decided to make sure they continue to monitor the events closely. As this occurred, the team noticed that something in the hole may actually be responding to the drill. The watched as they received weird signals, so whenever whatever their drill was making contact with deviated its movements from its instructions. It was almost as if the drill and whatever was down there were actually engaged in some sort of animated interaction. Perhaps hoping to get a different result, the team decided to apply some more pressure to the drill in a bid to make it dig even harder than it already was. This resulted in the drill and whatever was down there giving off even strongerous signals. As different as this may have been, the team had to contend with the fact that no matter how hard they tried to dig past whatever was blocking them, they couldn't get past it. When you think about it, it must mean that the force field must be down there. It may also mean that the force field was one powerful son of a gun, as not even 8,000 pounds of force and pressure could break away through it. That is some powerful alien technology if you ask us on this channel. As impressive or shocking as this may be, perhaps the most impressive part of the entire experience was that when the drill was extracted from the hole, it looked like nothing happened to it at all. It didn't look like it hit anywhere and tear on it, despite the fact that they had just applied about 8,000 pounds worth of pressure on it. It made them think that maybe it may have been drilling against a smooth wall of some sorts. Maybe, an invisible super smooth wall like their suspected force field. Well, looking at the strange drill bit before them left them deep in thought as they searched for answers on what they had been dealing with down there. Eager to get some answers, the team decided that they would start by collecting some of the soil residue that they found at the tip of the drill. Maybe its components would reveal some more information as to what happened down there. It's actually interesting to note that despite failing to break through whatever barrier may be down there, the team considered this exercise to be something of a success. Apparently, this was due to the fact that the resistance that was experienced when they were drilling down there occurred at the 31-foot mark of the drilling exercise. This was great because that was the target they set to before they went down there. As successful as this may have seemed for the team, they would find that this would not be the end of their experience with invisible forces on the ranch. The triangle area and its portal would help that the team learned from their experience with the invisible forces that they encountered during their drilling exercises, because soon, they would have to apply this know-how when they made their way to an interesting spot known as the triangle area. Apparently, when they got there, they would come face to face with another similar yet perhaps more aggressive form of invisible force. While the force field encountered during the drilling exercises just seemed to act as a physical barrier to the team's experiment, Taylor and the rest of the team noticed that these invisible force in the triangle area disrupted the electronic equipment readings that they observed in the area. As weird as that may be, it may also have the ability to deflect objects shot at it with unbelievable force. Eager to get to the bottom of the unfathomable mysteries that they seem to come across on Skinwalker Ranch, Taylor and the rest of the team were excited to get their hands on the high-tech rockets that they had with them. Apparently, these state-of-the-art rockets came equipped with high-tech sensors, electromagnetic field detectors as well as thermal cameras. What V thinks it can hide from them up there has another thing coming. Especially as the team also saw it fit to come there with 8 thermal cameras. Even though only about 2 of these cameras were extra sharp, we know that this was a display of the fact that the team was not leaving this place without any data. After all, the more data they got, the more they could feed into their system and databases so that they could analyze them properly later on. Thankfully, these cameras prepared to record even the tiniest bit of data. This was important because they anticipated that they would get a lot of reaction when they carried out their next experiment, a test on the force field in the area. They planned on doing this by sending out some things at the triangle area. They hoped to do so by sending things up about 100 feet away into the air. Hopefully, they would get a reaction from the forces in the area. Well, with them watching the scene with their 8 thermal cameras, there is no way they could miss out on anything. Initially, they had hoped to head to the south field so that they could launch their rockets at the triangle area. They figured that if they use a launcher and a mortar, it may give them their best chances of success. Both people using both items would fire from either side of the area, which in turn would result in dynamic results. They would be watching keenly, so much so that they would time the experiment with precision. When they performed the experiment, an ear of the rockets that was launched from the mortar went up before blowing up at a certain point. Looking at what occurred, the team soon realized that something made the rocket explode a lot sooner than they initially anticipated. It exploded about 31 feet above the triangle area. Looking to see if they could get some more information, the team decided to shoot some more rockets at the 31-foot zone so that they could see if they could hit anything out the if that was possible. Maybe the thermal cameras could record what their naked eyes could not see. This seemed like a great idea, so they did shoot some more rockets into the 31-foot area. Soon, They noticed that the thermal cameras did record some changes in the area. Crazy. It makes us think about what could be out there and what further investigations carried out by Travis Taylor and his team would expose. That is why we watch keenly as this team of experts and researchers carry out investigations on this mysterious spot so that they can learn the truth behind the many secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. From coming across an unbelievable barrier while drilling into one of the strangest spots away on the planet as they search for the truth to noticing the strange forces in the skies in any of the most interesting parts of this land. Here is how Brandon Fugal, Travis Taylor and his team confirmed some of the strange rumors that come out of Skinwalker Ranch.